Well, I say good morning to everyone.
Good morning, Mikey G.
I want to say good morning to Lady Alice. Good morning, Lady Alice. How are you doing this morning?
I am doing fine and fabulous. Terrific. It is
Fine, fabulous, and terrific. All of those together in all in one.
all in one. All in one. It is Terrific Tuesday, which comes after Magnificent Monday. And what is terrific about today is
Mm.
that I'm alive. We had a long weekend here. I could do with another day after the long weekend. Can I have a witness?
Yeah, I found it to be a very interesting thing. But many times I would say to somebody, "What did you do on the weekend?" And it's so short sometimes. It's already Tuesday,
Yes.
and Monday is past. Sunday has gone and forgotten. Saturday, it's like it's already a week already away, and you're almost closer to the next one coming than the one that you had before. And it's an amazing thing to feel it, and it's a weekly cycle. A weekly cycle. It keeps coming around. It keeps coming around. But I'm happy to be around and happy to be here this morning. Of course, it is. Yeah, for me, I find it to be pleasurable, very, pleasurable to be around and to be doing the things that I do.
You find it
You know,
pleasurable?
yes, very. God has blessed me, I would say. I sometimes I have to put it to myself only. And then I say God has blessed us, in so many ways.
Yes.
And, so when we say me, we have to identify me. And then we look at what God has done with the whole thing that we have done, the tools that we use, our platform that we have developed. Oh, God has amazingly stretching it and expanding it and just growing the entire thing. And it's not easy to see the working of God in your own eyesight. It's like you're seeing it happening in front of your eyes, and sometimes it's unbelievable to see how much God has made it. Has created such an awesome thing, has allowed you to create such an awesome thing, and you say, "Oh my," that's it. Oh my.
That's it. That's enough, Mikey G. It's Terrific Tuesday, and of course, each time, as you said, and it's so amazing how God orders your steps and just works it out for you in ways that you can only imagine. If it was up to you by yourself, you certainly would not have it. So yeah, God is amazing. He is an amazing God, and we of course want to give him thanks for his love and protection. And of course, to get started, the breakfast our way, of course, we're gonna start with a wonderful song here that I hope that you'll enjoy as we play this morning.
It's like we're running in circles, going around every day, getting stuck in the hurdles of yesterday. Don't you wanna go further, away from the fray? Let's not get stuck in our worries, we'll make our own way. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air, look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd. Just you and me, together it will Are we part of this circus? Is it innate? Feels like a heavy burden, but I can't relate. Do our actions even matter? Or is this a fate? At least now I'm feeling better. I know I'm here to stay. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air. Look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd. Just you and me together, it will all seem better outside. Just us in the sky. I will go wherever, I'll be yours
Outside here, it is, of course, a beautiful Tuesday morning, and of course, we are happy. We are happy to be in the house this morning, Mikey G. What say you?
Well, I've always been, I've never, every time I get a chance to really get into studio, I am always excited to come on and just do what I have to do, and of course, bring some positive energy and some information for persons who are actually, listening. And for those who didn't listen just right off the bat, what is interesting about the breakfast hour is that you can always go back and catch the material later on. It's on demand when you want it. You don't have to be sitting down waiting for it. You can just have it packaged like, on the shelf and you get it and you go pick it up.
Just pick it up from off the shelf, right?
Yeah, let's pick it up off the shelf. This morning, we had so much conversation about how we find ourselves accumulating all this stuff that we do, right?
Yes.
And it's a worrisome and a weary feeling after having all these things that we have accumulated, and then we
Yes.
have to leave it. Can't take it with us anywhere.
Can't take
Can't
it.
take it
No,
anywhere.
no, no.
And can I tell you that just thinking about it alone, you, I started talking about guys, people who have probably accumulated far more stuff than you and I would have accumulated.
Right?
Because the little that we may have accumulated is maybe insignificant to others,
Right?
who have so much more under their watch and on their belt. And how it should feel when, you hearing that today is required of you, your life is required of you today. And you have stored up so many things in your barns, high towers, lots of property, lots of houses.
I caution myself, Mikey G. I do
Yeah.
caution myself, and I remember that story all too well. And the unfortunate thing, as you speak this morning, is that over the last week, I've had the unfortunate experience of recognizing or um, hearing the loss of a few friends of mine. Yesterday, it was actually the loss of a batchmate from high school, and as I received the news, I said, the difficult part of receiving the news is like you are recognizing that there are people that you have not stayed in touch with.
Yes.
you
Wow.
know you have not, in a longest time, you have not, and then to hear, okay, and now is the time that you feel like you need to reach out to family members who are grieving, I don't know, but maybe it's my mind, but I find a lot more younger persons are dying now than before. And so as I really look at what's happening, we have to live life fully. I had a
Wow.
conversation with somebody recent and she said, "Oh, you so busy. Why are you so busy?" And I said, I am just doing my dash. I have this time left and I'm packing every single time. I'm packing some rest too in that. But I am doing it 100%. Not just wandering, touching the water and wandering. I'm going the full 100, Mikey G. Full
You
100.
just, you're doing a sprint right now.
I'm doing a sprint right now. I'm doing a sprint.
I think the long distance. I think the long distance has passed.
Yes.
It's a sprint to the finish,
Sprint.
because it's a sprint to the finish.
Yeah.
But you might start life earlier, and you'd say, "I have so much time on my hands," and
Yes.
then life, you travel down life's road, and you reach at a point where you're saying, "But this is the amount of life that I am scheduled and may have left. May, not must, not is, but may have left," right? Because today could be it, right?
Yes.
And so, what did you do with it all this time? So you be mindful of that. When you go out, you'd say, "I would have I would have left a legacy behind that somebody could see that I was actually here," and not just foolish thoughts and foolish um, things, but you leave something of substance that somebody can use it as a tool or a means of making better choices, better decisions, and of course, live better with each other, right? And that is something that is very important for me to do, so many people do the same thing in many different ways,
Yes.
but I choose to do it this way. How do you choose? There's a question for our listeners and our viewers this morning. How do you choose to make that mark in life, that you would make a difference, that someone could be affected, and affected is not a bad thing these days, right?
Yes.
Someone could be affected by you as an individual and what you have brought to the table.
And that's a question. We can't live life in isolation. As much as we would think that that's a thing to do, but no. Yeah.
So
And
today I'm just,
and let's try to make a good impression.
hmm.
Not only for those who we know, but those who we don't know.
Well, what we do know is that what we are doing is we are reaching a lot of persons that don't know us.
Yes.
Therefore, the reverse would actually also be true. We don't know them either.
Right.
But
Right.
but then here's the thing about knowing and not knowing. Somebody will walk up to you one day and say, "Lady Elise, I know you." And you said, "How do you know me?" Yeah, that's a question. And they'll say, "I know you on the breakfast hour.
Ah!
I know you on Sensation on Sunday. I know you from the function that you did by such a place where you did a pageant and you were doing this. You would be known from these things. But how do you know them is true. But while you are not personally acquainted with the person, the individual who may talk to you, they are feeling that connection to you because they have been on listening to you and have enjoyed those programs that you have and episodes that you have provided for them or you know have made. But this is where it stands that we, while not knowing the person or recognizing them when you see them, you have impacted many lives. You know?
Yes, yes,
That's,
yes.
that's what is really important to think about when you actually
Well,
look at what you do.
While we're thinking about that, I just want to just appraise the listeners of what is celebrated today, Mikey G. Today is the 12th of November, right here in Cayman. It's the first working week. And if you're in the US, first day of this working week, because yesterday would have been celebrated as Veterans Day in the US. And if you're in Grand Cayman, yesterday was celebrated as Remembrance Day. So don't think that you have an extra day of work. The long weekend has ended, and of course, it's time to get back to work. Get your shoulders to the wheel, and of course, today is also celebrated as Old Socks Day, National Chicken Soup for the Soul Day, National French Dip Day, and World Pneumonia Day.
Ah, is
Let's
that
find out more about the chicken soup.
well? Okay, okay. Well, chicken soup for me, if I just go off the top of my head right away, just to think about chicken soup is always
It, is, it
it's
a, is it a good idea, Mikey G?
chicken soup.
No, to go off the top of your head right away.
Ah, well, sometimes it's not a good idea, but I still like to do it. You know,
Yes, so tell
sometimes I
me.
find it. Sometimes I find it's not a good. After I think about it afterwards, I find it maybe not such a good idea. But did it already, guys. All right. So the good idea is this. So I know that chicken soup is always used in the case of you having a fever, a flu, or some form of illness like flu-like symptoms that you're having, and the chicken soup is what you would be going for to heal you. The chicken soup is the rescuer for healing for persons who have these ailments, feelings. It happens. I don't know. So chicken soup day.
So you're gone to chicken foot. Listen, I have
I
a
was
friend
always
here,
a chicken foot now,
and
so
she was
let's go
like,
with it. And somebody in one of those small islands said, chicken foot, oh my God. I remember this Bayesian guy who didn't have the idea of what chicken foot is.
I can I tell you that it's not my favorite. If I have some soup, please do not put any foot in it. I don't
Chicken
want
and
any
chicken
toes.
foot.
I don't want any limbs. I will drink the soup without the foot.
No chicken foot in my soup. Okay, that's it.
Yeah,
But
but
as your aunt soup, we able to go to chicken foot, the famous Manish water. Yeah, yeah. All right, so let's go back to the chicken soup.
well, it's actually chicken soup for the soul day. I don't know if you have even read that book, um, but let's just share with you. Now, there are some books that are written to see you through the darkest days, to help shine light through the ponderous pitch black clouds of the sky that hangs overhead. The Chicken Soup for the Soul series of books was produced explicitly for that purpose. And you can understand why they would use the analogy of chicken soup, because that's what we were just speaking about. When you're feeling sick, there's nothing like some nice chicken soup, especially if you're having flu or so. So these books are like a metaphor. It's just saying, these books will give you that little oomph that you need when you are feeling down and in the dark. Many are the readers who have had this book for by their side as they do their best to live through the worst days of their life. And it's all thanks to Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen that these books came to light. Chicken Soup for the Soul Day celebrates the light these two men have shed into the lives of others through this much needed series of books.
Chicken foot, chicken soup.
not, not chicken foot day, Mikey G.
I got it.
Chicken soup for the soul day, and of course, recognizing the authors of those books, a series of books, and they are dedicated to motivate and inspire you, especially in the darker moments of your life. Sounds
Ah,
good?
sounds good. Chicken foot, chicken. I can't. Listen, I am unable to. It's like when I think about chicken soup, I'm
Yes.
thinking about chicken foot soup. I don't know why. I just keep going there. It just messes with my mind. I don't know. It's what it is. I don't know. But chicken soup for your health care. It's like a personalized doctor, right? For flu and flu-like symptoms.
Yes. Actually, and today is actually also World Pneumonia Day. And of course, you would have heard of pneumonia before. And certainly, let's hear why we have a day. Um, let's see if we could find out why. Pneumonia acts as the single largest infectious killer of both children and adults, with at least 2.5 million people each year succumbing to it. In fact, pneumonia is the world's leading killer of children under the age of 5 years old. Did you know that, Mikey G?
Wow. It's like a beast that attack kids.
Yeah. Now,
But
World
what?
Pneumonia Day aims to help everyone know that pneumonia is a preventable and treatable disease. First established in 2009, World Pneumonia Day was founded by the Global Coalition Against Child Pneumonia. The purpose of the day was to educate and inform the public about the dangers of neglecting conditions that lead to or are related to pneumonia. With more than 100 different organizations connected to it, World Pneumonia Day has been represented by Save the Children, the Global Health Council, and Sabin Vaccine Institute, as well as supported by famous children's ambassadors such as Gwyneth Paltrow and Hugh Laurie. World Pneumonia Day offers the opportunity for people to get educated, raise awareness, and fight for the needs of the children who are getting ill and dying from a preventable disease. Yeah?
What causes pneumonia? Um, I don't know. They say it's moisture, water. Um, it's a lung-based disease. Something that has to do with the lung.
All right, so pneumonia has a variety of causes.
Mm.
Infections in the lungs can be caused in at least 30 different ways, including air pollution, bacteria, fungus, and more. Pneumonia can be deadly if not treated, particularly in small children. Pneumonia needs to be treated immediately with care from a doctor and medicine. Air quality affects pneumonia. Parents who smoke around children are putting them at risk. Another high risk is for children who live in places where homes are heated or cooking is done on open fires. Breastfeeding may help prevent pneumonia. Children who are breastfed have their mother's immunities, and breast milk also contains substances that keep pneumonia from growing in the baby's nose, throat, or lungs.
Why are you speaking so many bad words on the radio?
What, breastfeeding? There's still some women who breastfeed. There's actually a foundation in Cayman that aims to educate mothers. And as a matter of fact, in the years when I was thoroughly immersed in midwifery and in obstetrics and gynecology, we had, and I remember when we had a breast friendly hospital, breastfeeding friendly, and we had lactation consultants Because believe it or not, half of the times women even doubt themselves in terms of breastfeeding. So, especially new mothers, when the baby is born and they are thinking that I don't have enough milk, or and they doubt themselves, and they're not patient with themselves, and quickly they try to find alternative, which sometimes it's not true. It's sometimes giving yourself a little bit of time, because in fact the baby doesn't require as much milk in the first few days of life. That's a lot of information. TMI.
Well, with a growing disgust of having children.
Why are
I mean,
you?
let me just say what it is, Lady Elise. Come on, I just talked about the B4 movement thingy that just popped up in my mind. With a growing disgust of women don't want to have children anymore because it is a what is being promoted is that it is a holdback of women's ability to be more than just a baby mother or a mother, and you can be so much more than being that, you know. And then when you reach a certain age, you're all worn out now, have no use for nobody. You now want to go and produce babies that now will cause the children harm, destroy the very young life before you started with that level of stupidity that was taught or that is being taught. And lots of young women and older women are teaching this nonsense to younger women. We have been having these conversations for many, many times over to reiterate these conversations that if I can just get one person to believe this and change just one person's life, then I'm fine. I'm not intending to meet all these wonderful career choosing women who don't choose having children and marriages and all these things and don't want no man in your life and all this to destroy it, and you want to live. And when you're 40 years old, you want to busily trying to kill children before they're born. We're not trying to reach some of those persons.
Mikey,
Listen, I have to say it like it is, because it does sound good, right? It don't sound good at all. It sounds very bad when I say it like that, but sometimes you can't hear it when it sounds so nice. And so it sound nasty a while ago when you hear you're going to be aged in a certain point and you want to have children at that point, and you're going to destroy your life. Instead of making a life, you're destroying the very thing that you want to make. And
we will.
people come
We
people come off and say, but young people can do the same thing. Yes, because what you just explained to me a while ago
it's
is that
World Pneumonia Day.
the air that you breathe,
Yes.
the air that you breathe, we're talking about young children and we're talking about the production of them because it goes right there. The
Mm-hmm.
air that we breathe
Yes.
is affecting the very life that we have. And we have
Yeah.
so much pollutants that actually are in the atmosphere
Yeah.
that causes not just children, but because they are more or least resistant to it. And then you just describe breastfeeding as a way of building up that little young child immune system.
Yes.
Now, if women don't want to have children, then probably this is not going to be a problem anytime soon because you won't have any children. You have to worry about pneumonia for them. That's just the reality.
Yeah. 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 But
You just
it's
just give it
sometimes
some thought. You just give that some thought.
But the thing that I find
As the men are
impactful.
not going to have any children, remember, the men are not going to be doing
Let's
any
say
having.
good morning to our listeners and our viewers, those on Facebook, those on YouTube. Good morning, Dr. Levine. I know you just said good morning to us. Thanks for tuning in to the breakfast hour. It's Terrific Tuesday, and we're having a conversation, and we're just appraising the listeners and viewers as to what is being celebrated. And of course, World Pneumonia Day is celebrated today. And of course, we just learned that breastfeeding may also be one of the tools we use to help to strengthen children against a pneumonia.
We
So we're
also
having a
learn
conversation.
we also learn that women do not want to have children anymore. It's a big class in school. I wonder which class you go to learn that. But there's a big school that teaches this, that women don't must not have children anymore because it ties them down and reduces their potential to be great women in the society. And so don't have children. But then here's the thing. I will just discover that the pneumonia problem has been solved already by a woman who they will not have children. So you won't have children having pneumonia. Don't worry. That problem is already solved. Don't worry, guys. We have gotten it right the first time. that's,
We have
that's it.
gotten it right the first time.
It's ridiculous when we come up with these nonsense, you see? But we do it anyhow, yes? We think it. And then we want to know, you know what is important though, ladies? Is that while we are teaching all these classes, we don't teach the importance of mothering, reproduction, and of course, having families. We don't want to teach these things anymore. In fact, if we teach anything, we want to teach the separation of families and the destruction of it. Everything that you see around us is attacking the wholesomeness of a family.
We believe in the family. Of course, we will definitely have to play that song again. It's a beautiful song written by Miguel Lowe and sung by the Chrysalites and friends there in Jamaica. And an original song, and we are always happy to showcase talent. Now, just a reminder, of course, Mikey G always bring the right um, sort of interpretation and brings it to another level, another way of looking. Think it through. That's the thing. Think it through. Today is a beautiful, it is Terrific Tuesday, and we are happy to be here in the studios of Flashpoint Radio. Now we are recognizing that things are celebrated worldwide, all over the world today, and one of the things that's celebrated is National Pneumonia Day. So go ahead and take a get a chance to look at www.worldpneumoniaday.org to get more information about pneumonia. Now, let's hear what is happening in our weather, Mikey G. You are mentioning that something
Yeah,
seems to be
we're talking
brewing.
about the weather earlier. We saw a system out there, developing, and of course, it says that in the coming week, maybe later on in the end of week, you will see a lot more activity around the Cayman Islands area. Of course, Jamaica will also be seeing some weather from some
Getting some,
weather, yeah,
yeah.
weather from that
Well,
that that's that is coming around. Of course, they are thinking of naming it the system.
Sarah,
Um, Sarah, I think that's the
uh,
name for it, this new system that is coming. I mean, that's the name that they are thinking of giving it because it has not developed yet, but they are watching it to be coming into something. So I guess with that being said, let's see what Sarah will do.
well, maybe Sarah won't be born, but the tropical weather outlook for
No
today
just feeling of Sarah this morning.
at 7 a.m. update from the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida for the North Atlantic, Caribbean Sea, and the Gulf of Mexico. A tropical wave over the central Caribbean Sea is producing an area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Environmental conditions appear conducive for development, and a tropical depression is likely to form by the end of the week as the system moves slowly westward into the western Caribbean Sea. Afterward, the disturbance is expected to meander over the western Caribbean Sea through the weekend and begin moving slowly, generally northwestward by early next week. Interests across the western Caribbean Sea should monitor the progress of this system, and certainly we are monitoring that. Formation chance through 48 hours is medium at 40%, and formation chance through 7 days is high at 80%. So we have a system likely brewing over there or right here in the Caribbean.
Well, for the Cayman Islands, we are already settled in for it. We are already settled in for this one for the Cayman Islands. Well, I don't think anybody has taken down their. I don't think anybody has taken down their plywood yet.
No, we still have our stuff up.
I don't think anybody taking down the plywood, and I believe that most persons who would have been prepared for the hurricane would have more or less be thoughtful that it may be prudent to just give it a little more time. It's 12 days in. Hurricane season, while it was not as active in earlier years at this time, this one has seemed a little bit more active than usual and have storms that are hitting hard too. It's not hurricanes that are hitting hard. It's not that they formed some system and rain came from it. They're actually hurricanes with almost 180 miles an hour wind speed and 120 miles an hour wind speed. These are the kind of hurricanes that are developing category one, twos, and almost threes at this point.
It's like you have to hold your breath from June to November.
Right. In
Every
fact,
year.
it starts
It's like a cycle. It's a
yeah,
cycle.
it begins in May, right?
Yeah.
It keeps going. So
Yeah. Well, guess what? It's time for the news, Mikey G. It's time for the news, and of course, our news is brought to you by Asai Ultrasound Imaging this morning, and we are proud to be affiliated with Asai Ultrasound Imaging.
Good morning. I am Corley Karan, and these are your news headlines on Flashpoint Radio. We begin with breaking news. A serious motor vehicle collision occurred along the Breakers Main Road after 7 p.m. Monday night involving a Toyota Hiace public bus and a Honda Fit. Emergency responders were on the scene and reports indicated multiple casualties, though it is currently unclear if there are any fatalities. Authorities are urging drivers to remain vigilant and exercise caution as they traverse the area. Updates will be provided as more information becomes available. In other news, U.S. tourist dies after snorkeling incident. A tragic incident unfolded off the coast of West Bay Road in the Cayman Islands yesterday as a 79-year-old man from the United States passed away after experiencing difficulties while snorkeling. The tourist was assisted back to shore by beachgoers who administered CPR until emergency responders arrived. He was then rushed to the Cayman Islands Hospital, where doctors later pronounced him dead. The incident took place around 11:40 a.m. south of Cannon Point Drive. In regional news, Transport Authority to improve accountability on vehicle seizures. In Jamaica, the Transport Authority is set to enhance its processes regarding the seizure of motor vehicles. Managing Director Ralston Smith stated that the new policy from the Jamaica Constabulary Force, which elevates the rank required for seizure authorization to inspector, was prompted has prompted the TA to further tighten its own procedures. Smith mentioned that this step aims to prevent misuse of authority, although specific details are forthcoming in a media release. Kingston to host 2025 Grand Slam track event. Exciting news for Jamaica's athletics community as Kingston has been announced as one of 4 host cities for the 2025 season of the Grand Slam Track GST, a new global track and field league founded by US Olympic champion Michael Johnson. The 3-day event, scheduled for April 4 to 6 at the National Stadium, promises to bring some of the world's fastest runners to Jamaican soil. Tickets for the Kingston Slam will be available starting December 6. Sports Minister Olivia Grange expressed pride in Kingston's selection, calling it a huge moment for both Kingston and the country. Jamaican police officer dies following gun attack. In a somber update, Sergeant Patrick Mahoney of the St. Catherine North Division has died from injuries sustained in a gun attack. Sergeant Mahoney was shot multiple times by armed assailants outside his home on November 7 and had been fighting for his life in hospital. The Jamaica Police Federation has expressed deep sorrow, with Chair Arlene McBean urging the public to support police efforts against rising crime. Mahoney's passing has cast a shadow over the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Over to Haiti. Haiti replaces Prime Minister Ahmed Touroua. Haiti's Transitional Council has dismissed interim Prime Minister Gary Conille, appointing businessman Alex Didier Felix Amir as his successor. This decision, part of an ongoing attempt to restore democratic order in Haiti, has been met with controversy amid allegations of corruption within the council. Phyllis Amy, a former Senate candidate and Chamber of Commerce president, will now take on the role in a challenging political climate where gang violence continues to stall democratic progress. And finally, Massachusetts court rules. Jilted bride must return engagement ring. In the U.S., Massachusetts highest court has ruled that a jilted bride must return a $70,000 engagement ring to her ex-fiancé. This decision marks a change in a 6-decade-old rule that previously required courts to assess blame for broken engagements. The court sided with Bruce Johnson, who argued that the ring should be returned after his fiancée, Caroline Setino, called off their engagement. That's it for your Flashpoint Radio Morning Update. Stay tuned for more news throughout the day.
That's that's not an acceptable response, Mikey G. Not an acceptable one. No.
Oh my lord. Oh boy. We are talking about racing in Jamaica and having some young people experience a 1 week of um, pure activity of running,
Yes.
athletics.
Yes.
Excellent. You know, we have need of so many mentoring programs for young people to be aligned with what they want to do. You know, so it's good. Keep them off the streets. One, keep them actively engaged. Two, and they are motivated for success in life. You know, and so it is not a bad thing at all to hear and to see that there are people out there who are actively engaged in social activities that allows young people, and of course, not just young people, but adults alike, to be engaged in it. Because I guess that the adults are also teaching the young people. Yes, that's where it goes, right? So that's a fine thing to see, and of course, I'm really happy to hear that this morning. I'm waiting for your piece, you know. I want to know what your
Did you
mind
did
goes.
you like hear the silence? I'm waiting. What else? I'm
I'm
waiting.
not
I'm like,
going.
okay.
I'm not saying. I'm going to go to it, you know, but I'm just waiting for you to tell me what
Oh,
part
what?
of
The
the news.
return of the engagement ring?
No, you are going there.
Yes.
What's going on with that? Tell me.
Well, I guess it's only the engagement ring is a symbol of a promise, and if that is not going to come into fruition, it's a plan to be married, and if that is not happening, then I guess the ring should be returned.
So what's the real problem then? What's your take on it? Did the court is order the young lady to return the ring?
Yes,
She don't want to return the ring.
because
No,
I
I'm just
guess
asking. I'm asking this question because she don't want to return the ring.
don't you think she should return? Well, do you think she should return the ring?
No, no, I'm just exploring the question that is being asked and the possible answers that probably would come from it. And the logical thing to do. It is it's all in there, you know, but then it sounds a little way when you just hear it return the engagement ring after promise to be married and know you have to return the ring. You know, what about this? You know, it is
I think we can solve out some of our problems without. Well, I guess there's need for the legal system, but some of these issues that we have, I wish we could work them out without making them so,
public,
yeah.
eventful. Well, all right. So on the part of returning the ring, let's look at it for a minute, if you so desire. Um, Here's a young lady who would have been promised by a young man marriage, and so you'd have given her a promissory note and may have set time in place for that to take place. You know, and here's a situation. But then, did the news also say why it's asking for his ring back? Or the ring should be returned, or why this, or sorry, why the engagement is broken off? Did the news also said that?
Does it matter though?
Well, I guess at this point, I don't think it does. The fact is that they are breaking it off for whatever the reasons are, and we could just keep it as simple as that.
And that's
Um,
fine. I think.
but it could be a case also that she don't want to get married.
Yes, okay.
Is it possible that she could be the one who could break off the a woman? So in this case, don't women break off engagements as well?
Of course, that's fine.
So it would be fine that he break it off too.
Exactly.
Good. All right. So In the case that the woman breaks off the engagement, what should she do? The engagement ring.
um, return it.
I don't know. Is that question you're asking or you're telling me? I don't know. Do you? Because I wanted to be. I wanted to know if you're on the same page in terms of not on mine, but on the same page of of the breaking off of the engagement.
I don't know. I don't know. I think some of these things are. I think they're. It varies from I don't know what the relationship would have been like before, and sometimes the engagement period is a long engagement period. Sometimes there's a deeper friendship that should have some respect and recognize that even sometimes when things don't work out, Mikey G, you can also still honor what you had and the memories and the good experiences, and it doesn't mean that you have to throw the bed and the bathwater and the ring and everything. Um, and then the fact is, sometimes for some individuals, they don't want to keep the ring. It's a bad memory. They don't want to have that memory. But if it comes down to dollar and cents, it might be a way to earn some extra money. You could sell the ring, you know.
I'm suspecting. I'm suspecting that in this case. I'm suspecting that in this case, it may have a diamond involved somewhere.
Yeah. Whatever, for whatever reason. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whatever reason. Promises come, promises go. We haven't done our riddle for a long time, Mikey G.
I know a diamond may have been involved in this one, and this the riddle is why would you not give back the ring?
That could be the riddle.
It's a tricky one. I don't want to put a tip on it to say you should do this or do that. People sometimes, but I mean, in all fairness, though, I mean,
Yeah.
if you don't want the relationship, then
Don't
give back
want
the
the
ring.
ring either.
Yeah, give back the ring. And in this case, since he's breaking it off, what I'm gonna say might just sound a little crappy, so I'm not gonna say.
Ah, thank you.
That's not wrong because here's where this thing can be though. I'll be honest with you. For a woman, it's not an easy thing to be expecting something. Here's where it goes, you know.
For a woman or man.
No, 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 hold on. I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go with it. It's not nice to just come break off an engagement because she has told all her friends already.
Because she has told her. No,
Our family
because.
members are waiting for the wedding.
No, because the hurt of losing someone who you love.
No, hold on. I'm telling you what it is.
And it's a whole grieving
So
process.
it has changed from the love of the person to the marriage now. So even if the person is not, you know, the marriage. So what took place there is that you now take that from her. There's a pride about getting married that is not second to none, you know. When a young lady getting married, you know, she wants it, you know. And then when you promise, you must at least, you know, try to keep your promise. You know what I mean? That's one of the things that I would say. You know, at least make sure that's what you wanted. That's why you said you're going to do it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Guys, it's a lot of hurt there, man. It's a lot of hurt. It's a lot of embarrassment.
Well, yes, so listen. If you are listening to what people think are, uh, if you're having expectations,
Yes.
that's the issue. That's when you have the problem.
But being engaged is expectations enough.
And also, not only your expectation, but expectations of others. But it have to be for you.
It must be. Yes. But it is not so kind to the guys, when the lady come back and bring back the ring and say, you know what, I don't want to get married to you anymore.
But it's better you do it early in the game, right?
Yes, yes, yes. At least you know that there's a better catch for her and she want that one instead.
It's easier to break up before the marriage than
I see a better fish. I want that one instead of this little one.
oh no no. But you could be some issues that you don't think you can, you know, commit to for any. Yeah.
Well, it's what
But
it
on
is.
another note, the accident, we have been having quite a few
Yeah,
accidents.
I'm listening to this conversation. I mean, I'm hearing two accidents in 1 week, almost a weekend actually.
Yeah, along the eastern side of the
The
Cayman,
island.
Grand Cayman, you know.
So I'm thinking the police is going to be down there a little more than usual. So I'm thinking that more persons are going to be in trouble on that side of the island now. Sad to say, it is going to be good summer for the bad now.
Yeah, it's sad because accidents, as we got details of the accident last weekend where a pedestrian was struck down, we learned that he was actually just returned from India after being engaged. He had his engagement and he's back to work and on his way to work, and his life is just snuffed
Taken
out.
away.
Yeah, sad.
So the question is, it's hard. It's hard sometimes to figure this out, ladies. But I don't know. Things happen.
Things happen. You mentioned earlier, I mean, I don't want to end the breakfast hour on a dreary note, but you mentioned earlier, and the question, don't fool, tonight your life is required of you. You're building bigger barns, you have all
Yeah.
these plans.
We started the conversation at that point where we we are making so many, building up so many things. We are owning so many properties. We are investing in so many things that we can't hold on to when the time comes for us to part this world.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting that we are, you know, we don't want to at that point. We are holding on. You know, there are people who are now trying to find the fountain of youth and the reversing of aging. It's one of the biggest studies around right now that is not being publicly announced, but it for the persons who are with lots of money and wealth, they don't want to die,
I
and
think
so they
nobody
want to.
wants to die though, Mikey G.
Well, I know, but the thing is, for a person who don't have that a level of resources, we would have accepted the idea that death comes naturally after being born. But somebody wants to create a Frankenstein monster somewhere along the line. And somebody might say, Mikey G, you're just limited in your thinking because you know what? Technology is far outweigh the God that you serve. And what you say, if God says it, it can be altered because there are men who are just awesome right now, and God don't have anything on them. You know? So I know people say that about the fact what I'm just saying, but my Bible says it, God says it, and I just simply believe it. I don't go try testing it here. And then for the promise of what is much greater, do what you must hear. Be the best version of yourself. And go to the smile, man.
Go out with a smile. Yeah, be the best version of yourself. And that's what it's all about on the breakfast hour. And of course, we must share with you what's happening. The Savannah Seventh day Adventist presents Sermon in Song. And so we need to share that bit of information with our viewers this morning.
Ready for an evening of inspiration as the Savannah Seventh
Day Adventist Church presents Sermon through Music Revived. Join us at the Windsor Park Children's Playground on Friday, November 15th. We start with free health checks at 6:30 p.m. Enjoy the marching band at 7:15 and experience uplifting music and Vespers at 7:30 p.m. Reconnect, revive, and be inspired. Hope to see you
I was
there.
telling that I hear anything coming through this.
Get ready for an evening of inspiration as
No,
the
I was
Savannah
hearing
Seventh Day
the radio
Adventist
thing
Church
coming through.
presents Sermon through Music Revived. Join us at the Windsor Park Children's Playground on Friday, November 15th. We start with free health checks at 6:30 p.m. Enjoy the marching band at 7:15 and experience uplifting music and Vespers at 7:30 p.m. Reconnect, revive, and be inspired. Hope to see you there.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4 Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
Of course, we are happy this morning, and I think this song, Mikey G, with all the conversations that we have had, spanning about breastfeeding, feminism, all the things, but ultimately, we believe in the family. Returning of engagement rings. Yeah.
It's a serious place to be, we are looking at a promotional piece that is going out that is saying that we don't need each other anymore.
Yes. Yes.
And that is what being promoted. What is being promoted is that we are separate entities, so we should be at odds with each other. There's no coming together united, we stand divided, we fall.
Yes.
And so by that one statement alone,
Yes.
we are falling along the wayside because we are we have been divided along lines. Now, look at how serious this is. We have been divided along the line of feminism and masculinity.
Yes.
That's impossible to be aligned because that is what brings everybody together.
Yeah.
Because you're female and I am male, it's going to be the reason why people get together.
Yeah.
God designed that, right? But then we realize that there are other persons who are warping the thing. So where did this come from? This comes from people who want to plug into the same socket. You can't plug a socket into a socket, but you want to do that. And so you want to teach women these things.
You
And
cannot plug a socket into
into
a
a socket.
socket.
But you want to teach that rubbish, right?
Yes. Okay.
And yeah, that's what's been taught. Teaching plugging socket into socket, right? And you want to teach that and think and normalize that nonsense. But you don't want to stop there. You want to mess it up for others who want to plug into the plug. Plug into the socket. You understand? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. You want people who want to. We want people who want to plug into sockets, and we want to train people in that direction. That it works like that,
It
and
works
God
like that,
understands
right?
that power is positive and negative. It's not too positive that makes it work, or two negatives that make it work. You see, there is a reason for it. Polarities and a magnet, they are not the same. And so the like repels or separates themselves. It's so hard to see the like signs just jumping each other like they are made for, it's not, it's a bad thing to say, man. But for what it worth, we want to tell people that follow the word of God
Yes. Yes.
and the principles, because if you really want to find true direction and you really want to find true understanding of how you should live,
Yes.
then visit that little book, smallest book on your shelf called the Bible. Dust it off and go take a few pages out of it and look and see where you can change life and the way people are, messing it up for you. So use that, pointing you to the true word of God. That's how I can't say it in words.
Well, it's well said, Mikey G. Well said on this terrific Tuesday. I want to say thank you to our viewers and our listeners, those who are listening on www.flashpointmedia.ky. If you're following us on YouTube or on Facebook, yes, I want to wish you an awesome and a terrific Tuesday today. And of course, remember that we'll be in the place tomorrow, same time, same place. Dr. K will be here with us on Wellness Wednesday. I wonder what she'll be sharing with us tomorrow.
Well, I want to say to our listeners this morning that we want to apologize for our financial talk this morning. And so if you're here for a financial talk, we want to apologize for that.
Yes. All right.
So stick and stay with Flashpoint, of course. Flashpointradio.ky. Of course,
Yeah.
flashpointmedia.ky. And of course, type that in. You are at Flashpoint and you're able to actually enjoy all the programs that we do.
Of course. And of course, we have to get out of here with our Optimist Creed this morning. Promise yourself to be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as you are about your own. Promise yourself to be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as you are about your own. Have yourself a fantastic and a terrific Tuesday right here, Breakfast Hour style. Yeah.
In circles, going around every day, getting stuck in the hurdles of yesterday. Don't you wanna go further away from the fray? Let's not get stuck in our worries. Make our own way. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air. Look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd. Just you and me together. We'll all sing better outside. Just us in the sky. I will go
Second Corinthians 2 9 and 10. For I say, no ear has heard, no has entered you, is prepared in the first blood, but God has revealed it to us by His Spirit. You are locked into the station that helps you
part
tap
of this
caring
circus.
for you.
You're listening
Is
to
it innate? Feels like a heavy burden, but I can't relate.